Welcome back, weebs and gamers. This is AG, back with another deck profile. Today, I'm going to be doing it on one of my all-time favorite series in WEISS, which is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is my very first deck that I ever owned in WEISS, way back in the day. And it finally got new cards. I never thought it would happen, but here we are. So, yeah, and it does have some pretty good cards, for sure. I've been testing it a lot in, like, the last month since I got it, pretty much, and I don't think it's, like, necessarily top tier, but it definitely is not bad. It's definitely pretty good, and you can definitely win some games with it. There has been pretty much a main build that's been figured out so far, which is Gold Bar Door. But I'm actually trying, like, a experimental build that's with 3 different climaxes, so you'll see here. So, but yeah, if for any reason that I decide that I don't necessarily like this build anymore, then yeah, you can easily just swap back to the Gold Bar Door build, and it works perfectly fine. So, yeah, so we'll just get right into it here. So, the very first card is actually a card that I didn't think I would play this card at all, but then after just playtesting the deck for a while, and seeing that this deck has, like, major stock problems a lot of the time. Like, you just can't build a lot of stock in this deck. So there's been pretty much 2 routes that I've seen. Some people play the 1-0 blue-gray card, which is like the, if you have a climax in play, and you, when he attacks, you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a level 1 or higher, you send it to stock to, like, help build stock. But the problem with that card is, like, there's not really a lot of good top checks in Fairy Tail, or at least not at, like, level 0 and level 1. So he's kind of, like, inconsistent sometimes, and it also makes your level 1, like, dual color compared to, like, normally where it would just be all green. And so I decided to play this other card. This is sort of like an inspiration from Love Live Hasu, one of the top tier decks that's being played right now, which is this Natsu card. So this Natsu is basically like a worse version of their card, because their card is a double rare, so obviously it's going to be better than like a rare. So so their card is a bomb, and it is a, on attack you can either normal twin drive, so like pay one stock, or clock yourself 1 to twin drive. Whereas this card is just the clock yourself to twin drive effect. So, but the reason you play this card is because you just want more stock. Like, this card is, it can never fail, like the gray. You just always just clock yourself to take it, like, take a damage and twin drive. So, yeah, it's just really good, and all your climaxes are plussing triggers, so you don't mind if you trigger them too much, usually. And, yeah, so this card has really helped out the deck a lot. I find that, like, you can just, if you go second with this deck and you open, like, 2 of this, and, like, you know, like a Lucy or some other good level 0, you can just, like, swing 3 times, build 5 stock, and then you're probably just, like, coasting for the rest of the game, because you probably have enough stock to work with for the rest of the game, no problem. So yeah, it just helps you get, like, a lot of stock, like, early on right away, and then you kind of just don't have to worry about it as much for the rest of the game. So yeah, it's just this is probably one of my favorite additions to this deck, and it's funny because I just, like, never, like, it never occurred to me to, like, really play it beforehand. But then after seeing how bad the deck like bleeds stock a lot of the time, that you kind of need something like this to just help you get extra stock. So next card is this Lucy card. So this card shouldn't really need too much introduction. It's one of the best cards in the set. So it's sort of like the Aqua card, where it is on reverse, you can pay 1, clock yourself 1 to send her to memory and reveal the top 2 cards of your deck and add all characters or her specific 1/1 event. You can play other events in the deck, potentially, because there are some other good alternative events you can play in Fairy Tail. But the fact that this doesn't get any event, only her specific new 1/1 green one, it does kind of make this card a little sketchy sometimes if you choose to play those. So I just decided to not play any other events, but you can, because the level 1 combo does get any event. So that's kind of why I wish this got any event. But yeah, it is what it is. And then on play, she gets you get to mill. You have to mandatory mill 2, but you get plus 2k for each character you mill. So she can just potentially be like a 5k beater turn 1, which is kind of funny. Then next we have 3 copies of this Wendy Brainstorm. So this is just like a normal salvage Brainstorm, and actually secondary effect is really nice. It just gives global 500 to all your characters on your opponent's turn. I kind of like that actually, because usually like I find the Brainstorms that have like you can assign 500 to somewhere, or maybe like 500 to center, they're usually not very impactful. But this one just being global 5 on your opponent's turn is really nice. Well, more so for my deck specifically, because my deck actually has like some like wall characters that you actually want the extra 500 defense on opponent's play, but in the traditional deck, if you're level 1 and you just have like Lucy's, they're gonna be like 3k anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much in that regard. But yeah, in my build specifically, it helps a little bit more. So then next we have 2 copies of this Erza card. So she is one of the only free memory cards in the deck. So where if she's just reverse and you have 2 or less memory, you can just send her to memory for free. So that's nice. You at least want to play some amount of this card. You could play maybe like 3, I would say would be the max, but I would never play 4 of this card because it's just too much of a vanilla card to play that many copies. And then also you like just don't need yellow at all for this deck. So yeah, definitely for sure only 2 copies I'm playing right now. I don't think I'm gonna ever play 3. I feel the other memory cards are much better, even though they do cost stock. Whereas this one is just kind of just beater for 3k beater for free. So next we have 2 copies of this Natsu. So most builds would probably at least play 3 of this card. There's a certain reason why I'm only playing 2 is because of the next card you'll see. But yeah, so he's just a reprint of the Unison Raid Lucy from the old set. That one was a green one, but this one is red, Natsu, and he has 1,000 less power, but he also has the effect of on attack you can power pump something 2k, even himself, which is nice. So you can just pump him to 2,500, or you can pump the Twin Driver to 4k. So that's really helpful that it actually is able to like clear stuff. And yeah, and then he's just on reverse, pay 1, ditch 1, send in the memory, search your deck for a magic character. So yeah, just more memory. Yeah, so in case I haven't mentioned it, Fairy Tail requires minimum 3 different cards, differently named cards in memory by the end game. So usually you have like your suite of like different level 0s, and then you have the 1/1 event for the Lucy. You can play other random things because there are like old cards that go to memory or other events, but I think just for now, because you only need like 3 cards in memory, it's usually not that hard to just get like the basic cards in there, so you don't really need to like tech too much compared to like other decks like Bunny Girl or something, where you would actually want to like tech more copies of random cards to go to memory because you do need more names. This one only needing 3. It's usually fine. I've never had a problem with it, so yeah. And then the next card is 2 copies of the Natsu Climax Swap. So I think in most normal decks you'd probably play 3 copies of the Natsu Unison Raid card, and then only 1 Climax Swap, which is fair. But because I'm playing specifically a 3 Climax combo deck, I really wanted to actually play more than 1 copy of Climax Swap, because you can just like trigger Gold Bar a lot of the time, and then you can just like boom swap it out for whatever you want. So yeah, so I really wanted to play at least 2 copies of the Climax Swap, so I just decided to run 2 and 2. And then he's also just a center runner actually. So like first turn, if you don't open anything better, you can just like play him as like a center runner. So it is nice for that. Next we have 2 copies of this Rico Lucy. So she's just like, you know, consistency Rico card. They're always pretty good. So you just come and play, disc your card, reveal top, salvage a character equal to its level. So it's just nice card, gives you more green, and is pretty much one of the only like free top check cards in the set. So you want to play, I'd say, at least some amount of it just to help with like top checks with certain things. So yeah, and then last but not least is just a couple 1-ofs. So we just play 1 of this gray. So he is just in main phase, you can just pay 1, send him to memory to check top 4 at a level 1 or higher. So that's just nice, being able to be one of the few, actually I think he's one of the only level 0s that does not require a reverse to go to memory. So yeah, that's really helpful. And he also has like you can like lock one of their higher level back rows. So if like they stand by something in the back row, you can lock it. But it could come up, you know. It's just nice to have like a free effect on there. And then last but not least for the zeros is just one copy of this Wendy. So this card is, it's funny, I actually thought this was a normal drop search, but it's actually a drop search on play and on attack. So theoretically, you could just get two effects of it off in the same turn, which is really nice. And then it's also the blink effect, so you can banish one of their cards and then put it back on the stage. So that helps in, like, you know, just helping outing stuff like Bodyguard, like the 2/1 Bodyguards, or in the Mirror Match. If you ever played the Mirror Match, you could banish the level 3 Natsu to, like, get rid of its anti-burn effect. Stuff like that. It just helps. And because I don't play any yellow in this deck, you can't really play the level 3 Luxus, which is the bounce level 3. So if you do happen to play against, like, any anti-burn stuff, unless it's, of course, like, an actual anti-burn, like Shauna, then you might be kind of screwed. So, at least if you have this, you have something, right? So, and next, moving on to level 1, we just have 4 copies of the Lucy Climax combo. So this card is amazing. At first, I thought I would be at least, like, trying out the Natsu Climax combo, because being able to stand by, like, level 2 changers at level 1 is pretty nice. But ultimately, this card is just so good that it just outclasses that card. And pretty much makes it so you have to play this card. It shows she is just a normal on attack, check top 4, take a character or event with the gold bar. So gold bar level 1 combos are always, like, really broken most of the time. So this card just being just a standard, like, check top 4 card is, like, super good. Then she also has an additional effect where if you have any card in memory, at least 1 copy, she gains the extra power, like extra 3k power, and the level 2 Battler effect. So if she attacks level 2, she gets plus 6k. So just, like, can randomly out stuff. If they happen to stand by a 2/2 or something, then you can just out it super easy. So yeah, this just really solid all-around amazing card that I don't think any Fairy Tail deck would play pretty much any of the other Climax combos other than this, just because it's so good. Normally I don't like it when sets have such a good level 1 Climax combo that it kind of, like, outclasses everything else. But unfortunately, this is just one of those sets, so you kind of just have to play it ultimately. Like, you can try out some of the other ones, but they're really not as good as this one, especially, like, the Erza one, because it requires, like, full board to do its effect, and it's just, like, on attack salvage. It's really not that good. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. This is ultimately just the best one. Next we have 3 copies of the key event, the Tauros event. So yeah, this is the level 1 event that it's just a flower stand, or that's what people call it. So it's just on play, salvage a character, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's level 2 or higher, you can send it to the stock for free to refund your stock, and then just goes to memory. So yeah, just really, really good card. There is a bonder to this card, like a level 0 bonder, but it's only bond from waiting room rather than from deck. So I ultimately decided to just not play it. And also the Lucy level 1 combo does get any event and stuff, and the level 0 gets this event. So you do have ways to just, like, get it off other effects that I don't think the bonder is really needed too much. But if you want to tech, like, 1 copy, I'm sure it'd be fine, ultimately. Next we have 2 copies of the reprint of the Aquarius card. So this is the old Aquarius from the old set where it's just come and play, both players take a damage. So this is one of those cards they would never make nowadays, because it is pretty good. And it can force ties, which is, like, kind of the funny thing. So yeah, there is that. Yeah, ultimately it's just, like, a really good, just come and play, both players take a damage. And it does have the stipulation where you can only play 4 copies of it and the old card. So you can't play, like, 8 copies of this card, which would be hilarious. But no, usually I just use this to help get me if I get, like, level stuck or something. Because, like, say you're stuck at, like, 1/6, you can just, like, salvage this somehow, and then just play it and just take a damage, and then while also burning your opponent for 1, just to, like, level yourself up to level 2 or whatever you want, right? So assuming it's not a climax. If it does happen to be a climax, then, well, you might be kind of screwed depending, but I mean, ultimately that it is what it is there. And then the last card is just 1 copy of this Mira Jane counter. So she is also a reprint of the old rest counter. The old one was yellow, whereas this one is green, but ultimately they're the exact same effect, which is When you play it as a counter, you can pay 4 and ditch a climax from your hand to rest one of your opponent's characters. It's only a 1k counter, so it kind of sucks as a counter, but it is there. It is a rest counter, which is nice, and you do play, like, at bare minimum, you play 4 gold bar, so you can get, like, extra gold bars to your hand sometimes. So I do think that playing at least 1 copy is worthwhile, just to, like, check people too, because, like, if people know you have this card, they might, like, side or, like, do some stuff that they wouldn't otherwise, right? Next to level 2, we don't have many level 2s, just 2 copies of this Wendy promo. So there is a few different options for level 2 back row assists. Most people just play the Lucy one from the actual booster, which is a level support, and you can rest to give someone, like, the clock kick swap effect, which is nice because it helps out, like, encore cards or whatever, right? But and there's also the old card, which is the where she's also a level support, and you can rest her to sack one of your characters on stage to draw 2 ditch 2. I think that card is better in possibly other decks where you aren't playing a certain card that I am that kind of already does the same thing anyway. So I kind of didn't want to play, like, another card that just does the same thing. And I really like this Wendy because this Wendy is the only one that's a front 2k to level 3s. And I don't play any, like, level 2 attackers, so that doesn't matter. I only play level 3 early plays and actual level 3s. So her being a 2k to level 3s just gives you that extra 500 power pretty much. And she's also just rest check top 2 rearrange, which is very helpful for, like, the event. So you can check top 2, and then if you see a level 2 or higher, you can stack it, play event, and then get your free stock. Or you can do, like, funny plays where you could, like, stack a climax to the top of your deck, play the Lucy Aquarius, and then, like, just cancel the damage that you would have taken, and then while also burning your opponent for 1, or stacking it for the Rico, or whatever you want, right? There's a bunch, or just checking top 2 to see if there's a climax there, and then you can, like, brainstorm, whatever, right? I just really like check top 2, and the fact that this is on a 2k to front rather than a level support just makes it, like, even better. So yeah, I really like this Wendy, but there are other options that you can easily play if you want to. And then just 1 copy of this gray counter. He's just normal anti-change counter, just pay 2 sack a character, anti-change, so nothing really to speak about there too much. And then moving on to level 3, so we have 4 copies of this gray level 3. So this is sort of like the experimental card that I'm playing around with. So yeah, so he is a early play if you have 4 or more. He is come and play, draw 2, ditch 2, and then blind stock 1. So he's basically an early play that only costs 1 stock. And then he is also a climax combo with the pants. On attack, you can mocha them, so you check top 2 and mill any climaxes. And then you can also choose one of your opponent's characters, and it cannot move next turn, which is really helpful because what I've found is, so you can get into certain situations where they might have, it's pretty much good either way, because if you get to level 2 first, then you can just set this up. You can be like 12k on defense, you can mocha them, you can do whatever, right? Or if you happen to get to level 2 second, you can play this, and say they do have an early play in play that might be, like, too big for you to kill, you can just lock it in place, and then next turn on their turn, they can't move it to just, like, kill your gray, because they'd have to just keep it there. So they'd either have to, like, swing direct if you just crashed or something, or they'd have to, like, overplay it or whatever, right? So it's pretty cool. And then also, you know, you could just, like, lock back rows to prevent them from moving them up and attacking with them, which is the age-old cheese strategy of WEISS right there. So yeah, I really like this card. Helps you draw into other climaxes as well. So, like, say if you don't have pants, you could just draw into, like, a gold bar and then just climax swap into it or whatever, right? So yeah, I really like this card, but again, I'm still sort of testing it, because it's just, I didn't want to just play, like, the early play that's just, like, a 4 or more heal. I just feel like those cards just aren't enough nowadays, to where, like, that's, like, you need, like, some sort of, like, level 2 game plan a lot of the time, I find, whether it be standby or some sort of, like, actual level 2 combo or whatever. But yeah, so I'm just trying this. Ultimately, and I might switch back to the just like the normal build of 4 gold bar, 4 door. We'll see, but I just like this build for now. And then just the Natsu combo, of course. So this is the actual level 3 Natsu. So this card is pretty nuts, actually. So he's the one that requires memory. The gray actually doesn't require any memory whatsoever. So you can just play him regardless. It doesn't matter. But the Natsu, you require 3 different named cards in your memory. He is a on-play heal, gets 15. And then climax combo with the door on attack. Ditch a... I think it has to be magic character. You can't ditch anything. But you can burn them for 3. And then check top... and then stack the top card of their... from a card from waiting room to the top of their deck. To help you deal more damage. And then he also gets anti-burn till the opponent's... end of the opponent's next turn. So yeah, he just has like 5 effects. It's actually crazy. I don't know why they thought like 3 memory would like be enough to like balance that. It probably should have been like at least 4 in my opinion. But yeah, just really good card, solid all around, like finisher, anti-burn, heal, pretty much does everything. Yeah, so just great card. And then last card is just the one card of the Jalel. So he can, even though he's yellow, he can actually just be played without color, so you never have to worry about that. And then he's like the new stock shuffle, where you shuffle their stock back into their deck and then they re-put it back. So yeah, just kind of in there if you need it. He also has like an on-play, you can check top 2, add all characters to your hand if you need just like to refill your hand for whatever reason. And then we have just the climaxes. So we have 4 copies of the gold bar, 2 copies of the pants, and 2 copies of the door. And that's it. I did try a build where I was just playing, 3 pants and only 1 door, but I just found that with the addition of the twin drive card, that having door over pants is just better, because, you know, like if you're twin driving like turn 1, you might not, if you trigger a pants, you might not be able to get anything off of it, whereas door, you can pretty much always at least get something off of it, right? So, so yeah, that's it, guys. If you liked the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and this is EIJI, signing out.